Heyo, it's been a while. I think it's been about maybe a week since I've done any form of workout video or anything like that, and decided to record a workout session I did at the gym, and I was just going to put some music over it and call it a day, but I didn't really find any musical selections that piqued my interest. So I decided to do a recording and talk over it. So it's been a while. I haven't stopped working out, but I will admit that I did ease up a little bit, mainly because I had a small injury that prevented me from working out to my fullest, and it was safer if I just focused on recovery instead of blasting out workout videos like crazy. But I do have a few things to say, and why not speak my mind while, you know, a gym session plays in the background. So I haven't stopped working out. I will be doing that for the foreseeable future. It's a good way to maintain what little muscle I have, and it's a good way to keep me in shape overall. However, I will be posting more gaming related content on my channel because the whole point of my YouTube channel was to create gaming content first and foremost. But then it turned out to be a workout channel so far, mainly because working out is a lot easier and more accessible than trying to get all the gaming related like equipment and having enough time to actually sit down and game for a few hours. So while I'm not against making this a workout channel, I do want this to be a variety of things that I want to do, be that working out, be that gaming, be that just goofing off, etc. And honestly, there are a ton of workout videos already on YouTube. So branding my channel as a workout channel would probably not be the most beneficial for me. And I work out primarily to maintain a healthy lifestyle. I don't work out to be the strongest. I don't work out to be absolutely shredded to no end. I just work out to be healthy, which, in my personal opinion, is why you should work out. And being overly shredded, being overly muscular, and being overly, like, avid into working out constantly as your main personality is not something I want to be known for. But regardless, I still respect anyone who works out with utmost dedication and who sets themselves some goals for their body and will eventually, hopefully naturally, achieve those goals. But wherever your goals take you, I hope everyone achieves their goals in life. But yeah, overall, I don't mind this channel being a workout channel, but I don't really want to be known as that guy on YouTube that only does workouts, because that's not really what I see myself doing for the entirety of my life. But with that all said, I have been fully recovered for about a few days, or well, maybe not fully recovered, but recovered enough that I feel confident in working out at a decent pace and working out at medium to high intensity for about an hour maximum. So, speaking of workouts, I said in my last workout video that I was going to make a regimen and try to find a routine that benefits me. I'm still working on that, and I am still trying to figure out what workouts would work best for me, what workouts would benefit my health and my condition, and how to best continue to work out so that I don't overexert one side or underexert one side. So I am looking into figuring out workouts that benefit my left side more than my right side. So I am tinkering with some workouts that can push the limits of my left side to try to activate some more muscle on that side and to try to build muscle overall on that side. Because while I am pretty fit right now, I will admit that if I don't build some muscle, especially on my lower leg, my lower left leg, and my arm specifically, I do suspect that later down the line in my life, having my left side a lot weaker than my right side will be harder to compensate for the older I get. Because while we all want to look fit and healthy for the entirety of our lives, a good portion of people are in their prime between ages 25 to about 45, in my opinion. I think if you are healthy, you eat right, you exercise safely and with a decent routine, you don't smoke, you don't drink, you don't do anything constantly that's bad for your health, I do think you can maintain a decent physique up into your 40s and maybe even your late 50s without any help from any substances. However, I will admit that if you have bad genetics or you just don't have the time to dedicate to a strict dietary routine or a strict workout regimen, it probably is a lot more difficult to maintain any sort of fitness related to your body after the age of 40. But again, I'm not a professional. This is just my opinion. But I have seen some really, really healthy looking people between the ages of 35 to 47. And I've even seen some people that look really healthy at age 75, and I swear they were like 40 to maybe 32 years old. But it's all about dietary regimen or dietary plans, dietary strictness, I guess you could say, and a proper and safe workout regimen. But I'm hoping, with me in particular, that I can maintain my body up until my late 40s and early 50s. If I can stay relatively fit and relatively healthy, by the time I reach that age, I will be happy with myself. Actually, I'm happy with myself now overall. That's one thing I've been thinking of. And it goes alongside the issue of body dysmorphia, where people just want to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and better and better and better. And while I will admit I have succumbed to that somewhat, because every time I go to the gym, I think, man, I can do this better, or man, I can go harder, and boy, I look good, or boy, I want to get a little bigger. But the more I age, the more I realize that I should always be happy for what I have. For anyone who's watched my community posts and looked at my old snapshots or old photos of past me in 2018, looking back at those pictures myself, I realized just how far I've come. And while I wouldn't mind getting a little bit bigger, especially on my left side, I am very grateful that I have achieved the body goals that I set out to achieve within 5 years. Because I've been working out for 5 years religiously with a decent dietary routine. Not a great dietary routine, but a decent one. And while I have cut down from working out for 2 hours, because that's what I initially was working out for, I would work out for 2 hours every few days, especially on my days off. And I would go extremely high intensity. And that benefited me for a while. But I think at this point in time, just building upon what I already have at a slower but steadier pace and working out a little bit less with a little bit more form perfection instead of heavy weight probably will benefit me a lot more in the long run. But back to the topic of body dysmorphia, I did succumb to that for a little while. Like, I got to the point where I wanted to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and I was comparing myself to everyone around me, or I was trying to achieve a body that probably isn't the best for me. I'm not saying that I don't want to get a little bit bigger. As stated before, I do want to build mass on my left leg, and I want to build mass on my right arm, and be a little bit more symmetrical overall. But the main reason I want to build mass on my body is to be more proportionate, for one, as stated before, and secondly, to have a better footing going forward in my life as I age. Because currently I do think if I were to lose access to my right side, I would probably be in a worse predicament than I otherwise would think. And I'm going to be flat out honest, I could definitely build more muscle on my left leg, and I know I have more potential to grow in my left leg as well. Same with my left arm. Like in the footage you're seeing right now, I'm using the cables. I love arm wrestling. I've always loved arm wrestling. I love a lot of actual like sports in general. Strangely enough, it's mostly combat sports that I have an interest in, and arm wrestling. Those, like, combat sports and arm wrestling are some of the dream sports I would love to partake in. Arm wrestling for me was mostly due to the fact that growing up, I was not that great at sports in general. So I'm terrible at football. I'm decent at basketball. I'm terrible at soccer. I am decent at tennis. I am kind of terrible at volleyball. I'm decent at wrestling. I'm an amateur at best at boxing. And overall, the amount of sports I can do, or the amount of sports I can actually realistically play, is very small. So arm wrestling, for example, was a sport that I love doing. I have always loved doing. Like, I've always loved arm wrestling. I started arm wrestling when I was like 16 or 17, and I would just arm wrestle whoever I could, mostly friends or family. And it became a hobby for me to try to get a little bit stronger and arm wrestle whoever I could. However, after age 17, I stopped that altogether, because from ages 17 to about 22, maybe 21, I struggled with weight. Like, I really struggled with weight. Like, the picture in my community post, the one with my cat, the very first time I actually found my cat, or adopted my cat, because my cat, Kitty, was a stray cat and his mother had abandoned him, and I just picked him up out of the weeds and cared for him. But around my 20s, really early 20s, like from like maybe 20 onward, or well, from 20 to probably 25, but, well, more like 20 to 24. But anyway, so there was a point in my 20s that I lost a ton of weight, like a ton. I don't know what caused it, but once I hit my 20s, I just dropped in weight. The lowest weight I ever got was 123, maybe 122, but I was a twig. And something very bad happened in my life that did some upheaval to my daily lifestyle and made me quit feeling pity for myself and start building muscle. So whatever caused me to lose a tremendous amount of weight, I did not let that stop me. So I started working out at home. I started using whatever I could to work out. And I did that for a good 4 years. And then once that part of my life was over and everything went sort of back to normal, I started going to a local gym, the same gym in this video. And that's when I religiously started working out constantly. And here I am, like 7 years later. Yeah, 7 years later. I am currently 29 years old. I always say I'm 30 years old because I'm so close to 30, and I like 30 as an even number. But here I am, 29 years old, and I have a pretty damn good physique overall. Something that I never thought I would achieve. But while I don't consider myself to have body dysmorphia anymore, I do have a mild case of it because I do look at myself sometimes and say I could be a little bit better, but I don't compare myself to anyone anymore, and I don't want to be like anyone anymore. I want to be myself, so to speak. So that's one thing I need to express. You can always say you want to be better. You can always say you want to be the absolute best person you can be. But comparing yourself to others, especially like knowing that maybe you're different from others, or maybe you have a different mindset than others, or maybe even you have a different lifestyle than others. Like, for me, when I say, do I want to be like that dude? Or do I want to be like that person overall? I tell myself, would that physique benefit me in my lifestyle? And if I think to myself, yes, you know what? It might, then, you know what? I might kind of say, you know what? Maybe I should achieve that physique. Or if I say, you know what? That physique will not benefit me in any way, I will tell myself, you know what? I don't need it. But regardless, be happy with how you are. You can always better yourself, but I say don't compare yourself to others because there's only one you, and you can improve yourself, and in some cases you can make yourself worse. But that's how I think these days. Old me would be envious of every person I saw at the gym thinking, oh my God, I want to be like him. Current me is like, you know what? I'm happy with how I am. But I do want to make more workout videos in the coming days. And eventually I will get back to a regimen. I do want to actually create a routine on my channel where certain days I work out, certain days I do gaming videos, certain days I might do shenanigan related videos where I just post whatever. And eventually, once I get everything settled and figure out the best for this channel, I will probably do that, because having a strict schedule would make uploads a little bit better. It would make different video variety better, and I think it would overall raise my viewer count a little bit. Plus, it would be less work on me trying to constantly figure out what's the next video. I could already plan it ahead of time, so to speak. But in gaming related news, real quick, I did finally get a capture card. It's on the way. I bought it off of eBay, so I'm proud of that. So hopefully, if I can get my old laptop working, I can start doing long videos, like an hour to 2 hour long videos, just doing some gameplay walkthroughs of some of my favorite games. So hopefully I can get that on the channel. I did recently release 2 videos with a bunch of clips from my latest gaming excursions. So I'm very happy with how one of those videos turned out. The other video, well, was hit or miss, but I'm still proud of it. And I'm still working on editing. I'm still working on everything like that. And I'm getting better. I'm getting better with how this channel is going. And whatever content I create, I want to be proud of, regardless of its quality. I want to be proud of what I create because I'm creating it. I'm putting my heart and soul into it. So you know what? Be proud of what you can achieve, no matter how small it may be. But with that all said, I want to say thank you all for watching my video. In fact, you should see a pop-up in a minute already thanking you all. And whatever this channel holds in the future, be it gaming related content, be it workouts, be it just random stuff, I want to thank everyone for watching the videos, for interacting with the videos, and I want to thank all 19 of my subscribers. Yes, my end goal is 50 subscribers, and once I hit 50 subscribers, I'll start live streaming, possibly, but whatever I achieve, I'm going to be thankful for. So take care, everyone, and have a wonderful day. Take care and have a great life.